Hello.
Evening.
Good evening. Welcome to the fifth. Is it fifth? It is
Yes,
fifth.
the fifth.
Fifth live episode of the Wedcast.
Yeah, the Wedcast is a live wedding show.
It is. Let's chat weddings.
I took out the word fortnightly then from my little sentence, and I threw you off a little bit, didn't I? Admit it.
Why are you doing that?
Because at the moment we're weekly.
That is very true. It is weekly.
Yes,
We changing the rules.
Absolutely. So I didn't want to say weekly, and then in the future we'll change back to fortnightly. So I thought if we'd stick to live wedding show, which we absolutely are, then that covers all bases.
Love it. I love it.
We've got a really exciting show this evening. I think a show that a lot of people will find very useful.
I think so. I think it's probably one of the most important ones we've done. It's a big, it's a big thing at a wedding, I guess. If you didn't have one of these, I don't think you could have a wedding, I guess.
Yeah, and going back to the quiz from the episode from last week, according to Hitched, it is the biggest expense on a wedding day. I disagreed, but it's definitely one of, if not the most important decision to make. So yeah, 100%. Absolutely. So who are you, Les?
So I am Les Davis from Clicks Photography and Film, wedding photographer and filmmaker. And you are?
My name is James Hawker. I'm a close-up wedding magician, and my company name is James Hawker Magic.
Nice to be a part of this. So why are we doing this?
So the Wedcast is about giving people the opportunity to have honest conversations with wedding providers and services, and to get information for you to be able to make an informed choice. And it's really that simple. That's why we set it up. That's why we do it every week. What isn't the Wedcast, Les?
Well, we're not a selling site. So if anybody are watching, which we've got a few watching, which is nice. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We're not here to do the big hard sale. Although me and James are wedding services ourselves and our guests are wedding services, we're not here to try and say, book us, do this, do that. What we're here to do is to give you honest advice, because getting married is a difficult thing to do. If there's no manual, there's plenty of information out there. There's no solid book to say this is how you get married. It would probably be boring if it was, mind. But I mean, we are here just to try and help. And if we help one person watching, then we've done our job.
Absolutely. Yeah, agree with all of it.
Yeah. So today we have Llechwen Hall Hotel on the show. And we have amazing wedding coordinator, Victoria Jones, who's waiting in the wings there. So Victoria's been doing this a long time. She knows her beans. Worked with Victoria a long time. In fact, I got quite a place in my heart for the Llechwen, because like I've been going there since I was like a wee child. Since I was like 8 years of age, we used to go up there with my mother, because it was like a hotel pub. Well, it still is, I guess, but less wedding-y, I think, back in the day. And I remember, like, it's funny now doing weddings there, because in the Nelson Suite, that's what I used to like play as a child. In the barn, there used to be like old video games and stuff in there. So I've been going there for years, you know what I mean? And now actually going there and working a lot, you know. And I got married there myself. Oh, I forgot to say that. I did get married there myself. That was a big thing I missed there. Okay, right? But yeah, I got married there myself, and I know the Llechwen Hall experience. So I thought we'd bring them on and have a little chat.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue, as I'm sure people are going to discover now.
So, should we bring on?
Yeah, let's do it.
Toria and see what. Can we do the magic thing again, James? I quite like it. Poof, come on!
Wow! Good evening.
Good evening.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay. Yeah, fine. Thank you. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this with us.
Oh, my pleasure.
We'll try and be really nice and it's just really informal, a little bit of fun, just chatting between friends about your wonderful venue, really, and what we can.
Yeah, it's a wonderful venue.
It is a wonderful venue. I totally agree. Okay, so and we got somebody else agreeing with us. Oh, it's lovely
Lynn.
Lynn. Yeah, lovely Lynn. It is a wonderful venue.
Biggest fan.
Yeah, and good old Beth saying hello.
Oh, hello, Beth.
Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so there's Lynn back again. We don't want her back again. Good gosh, come on, Lynn. Right. So yeah, so how are you? Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. I'm good. I'm good.
Crazy
Excited
time
for
at the
this.
moment.
Yeah, crazy time. But I'm hoping that it's looking up a bit now. We're due to open on the 20th. Fingers crossed, all being well. So we're really excited to get back to it. Yeah.
So with so can you just explain a little bit to us about like how things have been with obviously with like the situation we're in with COVID and things like that? I mean, up until now, all weddings cancelled at the hotel with you?
Yeah, well, postponed.
Sorry, postponed.
Yes, some people have had to cancel, but majority have postponed. So our last wedding took place on the 20th of March. So I was really lucky to work alongside my colleague Naomi, who runs the weddings with me. We did the 19th and the 20th, and they were our last two weddings. So it was quite an emotional week. We didn't really know what was going to happen, but we just sort of powered through, acted as if nothing was going on. And I think our couples are really grateful that we acted like that. There's no other way to act, really, is there?
No, that's right.
But they had a fab time, and we had a fab time. It was really emotional. So I raised a glass with them as they were doing speeches because I just thought, you know what, why not? But it's been a challenging time. And it's been like a bit of an emotional roller coaster, I'm sure, the same as you as vendors, that changing dates and things, and having to talk to our couples that are really stressed and worried about things. So just trying to keep everybody happy, not too stressed out, and just the sheer volume of weddings that need to be moved is the biggest thing, really. But I've been really lucky to have so many amazing couples that have been really humble, really patient, and a pleasure to work with in moving their dates. So I'm just really grateful
because there's nothing.
So nice.
I mean, there's nothing we can do as services. Do you know what I mean? The last thing we want to do is have a bride on especially for you, because I guess it comes from you, it filters down from the venue, doesn't it? I guess. I mean, it comes to a stage where you have to make a decision, because ultimately your couples are the first priority. Yeah, you have to speak to them about what's happening, I guess, or what could happen. So how is that conversation go? I mean, is it like, right, we need to think of a different date, or
some
backup, just in case?
The weddings that were affected really early on, so March, there was only one wedding that I had to call and say, look, I'm really sorry that your wedding's not going to be going ahead. We need to move the date. Everybody else after that kind of gathered that we're going to need to move the date, because the actual closing of the bars and everything was quite an abrupt thing to happen. Even though we were expecting it, it did kind of happen pretty quickly. It happened on the 20th, and we had a wedding, so the wedding was in full swing. So then weddings after that, then I had been in talks with some couples in the lead up, if people worked in, worked for the NHS, and they obviously had a better idea of what was going on. Yeah. So, I've kind of gone off on tangent there. Sorry.
No, I know.
It's been fine. I mean, most of the conversations have gone like, most people have contacted me and said, right, you know what's happening. There's been some weddings I've gone up into a certain point and said, right, this is what's going on. Let's have a discussion about a secondary date. So that's the main priority first, is discussing with them how they're feeling. If somebody turns around to me and says, we really want to try and go ahead with the wedding, that's music to my ears. Some people will turn around and say, no, we're not comfortable, and we really want to postpone. So we're being as flexible as we can. The weddings that we've moved free of charge. We haven't done an influx fee or anything like that. So I mean, we've had to manage it on a month by month basis, just so that it's fair to everybody. But most people have had secondary dates held for a while, and then some people now that have had moved their wedding from, say, April to August have had to move again.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a crazy time, but I mean, things are fingers crossed, things are looking up a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And, you know, I mean, I know Wales, we're acting differently to London, and rightly or wrongly so. And that's, you know, that's another show for this debate anyway. But like, I mean, we seem to be following what London's doing, I guess, and London seems to be opening up. I say London, England, sorry. So it's opening up things a bit more. So I mean, where are we at now? I think it's like, what, 30 guests? Is that right?
Yeah, up to 30 for a ceremony. But that does include the photographers and the registrars as well. It doesn't include the staff. But the good thing for us is that we've got the lawn area. So if we needed to do a ceremony outside, we can. We're just waiting for the guidance on indoor gatherings and how that's going to, if people will be allowed to have the food and drink afterwards, if they'll be able to allow to have the evening party. So just waiting for that. But we've been working tirelessly to put in plans for kind of worst case scenario and then so that we can scale it back, because there are weddings that want to try and go ahead. So obviously we've got a plan for those to how are we going to do these weddings.
Can I just agree with the question which had coming in there now? The best burger I've ever tasted.
You know,
I had to pull this up, right? I know, you know, we'll get on to food and that later, but the Llechwen burger, oh my gosh. I don't know many of them I've eaten. Well, I probably couldn't count how many I've had every wedding that I do at the Llechwen Hall. The chef, big up to Paul and the gang, and they just know exactly what I'm going to order. It's just
that's probably my fault because we normally have during the planning meeting we'll say, do you want to do a bar tab for your photographers and videographers? So we normally say, you know, up to £15 is nothing to get drink and food. And then if in the planning meeting they've already told me that Clicks or Ram Photography are their photographers, I'm like, they won't be bringing their own packed lunch. They'll be ordering a burger, and you know, I know that for a fact.
Yeah, it's the best, James. You've got to try one, right? And down there next.
I'm gonna. Do you know? I'm really funny about eating when I'm working. For some reason, if I eat, I switch off. But I wonder if I'll just come down one day without the wedding just for the burger.
Now I'm really funny when you think of that, right? I'm really funny because you won't believe how many people say to me, "Look, you're here with us. I know you're the photographer and you're working, but you're here all day with us. Come and join us." And I feel really, it's a lovely, lovely gesture. But it's probably because I eat like a pig, I guess, and I don't want to be like.
Also, you'd be sitting there with your burger while they're having
like, you know, bits of burger everywhere or peas or whatever, like you know. But some people are really lovely, but I'd always feel a bit like, oh no, I'll sit out of the way because you know.
Yeah.
There you are.
It's nice to kind of take yourself away as well a little bit for an hour or so while they're eating, and then I don't know. I mean, some photographers do a bit of editing during that time, don't they?
That's right. Backing up the images just in case, you know, touch wood, something goes wrong. You just back up the images while you're taking so far, and then you're fresh to go again. You know? But here we are. Okay.
I'm just amazed. You know, in the past 4 episodes, we've talked about couples and all that they've had to do to rearrange their weddings, and obviously we are all about the couples. But just you know, thinking of the amount of work venues must have put in, and like you said, you're having to take it on a month-by-month basis. But guidance was changing like daily in March, wasn't it? So it was, you know, we're thinking at the end of next week, bars will have to shut, and then boom, it's tomorrow. Yeah, I can't even imagine how difficult the task that would have been for venues.
I think just having to constantly change things. I mean, I know the team have been working really hard on this very in-depth sort of how we're going to open safely, because for us, we want everybody to feel really safe. Whether they're coming to have an overnight stay, we want them to be recognised as one of the venues that has the highest standards in the area, so you feel really safe if you're coming for a corporate stay or a leisure stay. So obviously there's a lot of work that goes in with that, of thinking about, and it's just a rabbit hole really of all the things that you've got to think about, all the contact points and stuff. But the team
and ultimately our decisions, well, your decision, because obviously it's like I said, you're like the top of the tree, it comes from you and filters down to all the services. Then ultimately your decision is to make sure everybody is safe. Isn't it? And there's no other reason why you're having these conversations, you're acting against guidance is coming out, which you have to. There's no way around it. You have to stick to that guidance as a service, as a venue, and ultimately you are doing it to protect people, you know. So and
Absolutely.
I would say 99% of the people understand that anyway. Do you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I've got quite a few weddings booked in Llechwen last year, and when they've been contacting me arranging new dates, etc., they've all actually said how how good you've been to them. Oh no,
I got
honestly,
that.
honestly, I'm not just saying that because you're on. I've got the emails, but yeah, and that's I think most people have been nice with
Yeah.
and understanding because we kind of have to be, but it is nice to have that feedback, and I'm not sure how many times people actually get told that, so I thought it was worth saying.
Well, it's the same with me. You know, I get a lot of the couples saying to me, "Oh, you know, our suppliers have been amazing. They've been really flexible. They're, you know, allowing us to hold dates." And it's just such a walk in the park when they find a date and then they come back and say everybody's free, and you just think, "Happy days.
Yeah.
There we go. That's that one done." But yeah, I mean, I haven't had many that have come back and said, "Oh, my suppliers can't do the new date," so that's really good.
That's good. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us about Llechwen Hall, right? I know a lot about it because obviously, like I said, I've been going there since I was a young boy. I got married there. I work there a lot with weddings, so I know quite a bit about the place. But like from your perspective, I mean, I know it's a really popular venue. I get, you know, there's lots of people get booking it for their weddings. Why do you think it's popular?
It's just really special. Like I went to pick up the pop-up banner earlier, and I've only been back a handful of times in the 4 months that we've been off, and you just get this feeling. I don't know what it is. I mean, it's quite a windy road up there, but it's worth it for the view. And then once you get there, you've just got this beautiful country house. You've got the woodland area. So if you want like a rustic woodland feel photos, you can go into the trees and have photos there.
Right.
Got all this beautiful lawn area, and it's just so peaceful. Considering it's really close to the A470 and really accessible, you wouldn't know it.
No.
And then
Right.
I think it's just quite it's got pockets, so you don't realize how big it is. You drive up, I mean, it's a bit different now because we've extended it, so you can see how wide it is now, whereas before you would just see the half of the building. You go, well, this doesn't look very big. And then when you go around the side of the building, then we've got the Oakbeam Orangery, you've got the Nelson Suite, you've got the lawn, you've got the terrace area, and then there's this really sharp little corner then round to the marquee. And I will never get bored or tired of the expression on people's faces when they go around that corner and they see this great big building that's glass. It's got this lovely terraced area, and then you take them in and they just get this like wow factor. And I'd say that probably 90% of the couples that I show around love it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't mean that everybody's going to book, but you definitely get this feeling of wow, this is really special. So special is the word I'd say for it.
And I do agree with you. Every venue is different, and every venue will appeal to different people.
Yeah.
And I think we'd be fools to say that like my work is for everyone. It's not.
Absolutely, yeah. No.
Venues are not for everybody. James's magic style is probably not for everybody. It's, you know, it's not. So we wouldn't be sitting here saying, yes, everybody goes to the Llechwen will book it. There's reasons why they probably wouldn't. Same as they would in every other venue. You know, they go to and they think, oh, it's not for me for whatever reason.
There's pros and cons, and it definitely for everything.
Yeah, that's right. But I can honestly say that being married there, I had a perfect day because I think what was important for me was that I wanted somewhere where I had lots of rooms, but obviously you've got more room. We'll talk about the more rooms again now. I had lots of rooms because I didn't want to go. Some venues you go to, they haven't got rooms or there's not enough rooms. So you have to travel back home. I didn't want to get on a bus back home. It was my wedding day. I didn't want to, I had a few shandies by the end of the night. And I didn't want to get on the bus. You know that ride home on a bus and you're feeling a bit sick because you've had too much, a little bit too much to drink or definitely too much to eat. I just wanted to leave the venue and crawl up the stairs and just flake out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, so it adds everything like that. I didn't want to go off site for my photographs because that takes up my day as well. To me, a venue, to me, I want to spend as much time as I could doing photographs, but not too much because I want to go and see my guests and stuff like that. And I want to experience the wedding. Do you know what I mean? You pay a lot of money for the wedding, and I want to experience that. So I think having photographs on site because it had wonderful grounds.
Yeah, the views are beautiful, aren't they?
Stunning. And the rooms are really close. You can just, you're there back in your room, which is, I think is amazing. And it's a great attributes to that venue, I think,
I think so. It's got something for everybody. I think if you're looking for if you're looking for views, you've got them. If you're looking for woodlandy feel, you've got that. If you're looking for a traditional country house, wooden beams, a bit of quirkiness, it's got that. But it's also got the contemporary modern side as well. So we've tried to transition it so that it's got a bit of something for everybody. Like the Nelson Suite, if you want that rustic feel and you want to have candles and then you want fairy lights on the beams and you want to feel really intimate and cozy, that's the perfect room. But if you want something more open and airy and contemporary, the Oakby Orangery is a perfect room to have that in. If you want that on a bigger scale, then you can have a marquee ceremony. So there's just lots of different options. And I think the accommodation is a major thing because you can stay overnight the night before, and also I just think if you get on a bus and leave, then it's over.
That's it. Exactly.
Whereas when you stay overnight and you all wake up and you have breakfast together,
that's so important.
and you all say goodbye and you wake up and hopefully the weather's really lovely and you've got this nice view as you're eating your breakfast and you're reminiscing from the night before, it just makes it feel a little bit longer.
Yeah. And the Llechwen breakfast is amazing, though.
He's a big fan of the Llechwen food.
I know it's really cool.
I think it's the combination of those things really that makes the venue special, isn't it?
I absolutely love it there. I absolutely love it. It's been quite difficult not going there every day because I live so close as well. The temptation to for the first few weeks, I used to take the dog up to the mountain and just go for a walk around just to have that feel because the views are so nice. So, I've got used to not going to work every day now, but I do miss it, definitely.
Yeah, it is a special place, and I think it's still holding on to that sort of friendly sort of feel as well. I think in some venues it feels a little bit too corporate. I don't know if that's the right word, but I think what the Llechwen sort of holds is it delivers the professionalism, but it still feels like it's a little family as well.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
I think that's really important. Absolutely, the family that own it are very involved, and will come and have a drink and read the newspaper and just be part of, because they like the feel of it as well. So I think it definitely feels homely. And another thing that I say is that the nice thing to be able to do, because it's not an exclusive use venue that just does weddings and it's only open for weddings, because it has an operating restaurant and hotel rooms and function rooms. You can bring your bridesmaids down to ask them to be your bridesmaids and have afternoon tea, or you can bring your nan down for Sunday lunch and say, oh, this is where we're getting married. And then for years afterwards, there's so many of our couples we book to come to Christmas parties, Sunday lunch with Santa, come back for their anniversary stays. So it's really somewhere that you can that'll become a second home, and you will enjoy coming back to year on year and see the changes, or even just seeing the changes if you've booked your wedding 2 or 3 years in advance. We've had one couple that are our biggest fans, and they come to loads of events, and they'd booked their wedding 3 years in advance, and they'd seen the hotel transition to where it is now over the time, over their planning, and they really enjoyed that. So it's nice.
Yeah. So obviously you've just upgraded rooms as well.
Yes.
So you've gone from what to what?
We've gone from 19 bedrooms to 24 bedrooms.
Yeah.
So they've got the 11 original bedrooms in the main building, including the bridal suite, and then we had the 8 original in the coach house. So the coach house is a separate building, is right next to it. It's not far away, it's right next to it, but they're the larger rooms. So we normally say they're great for families that need bigger rooms and need to be able to put extra beds into. But then the extension then is 24 brand new superior bedrooms. So they're quite a bit more contemporary, but they still very they've got grey paneling. It's really nice grey. When you visit the venue, we love a grey, but it's really stylish and it's on trend, so it works for us. But you've got that style of room, but then you've also got the style more traditional 4-poster style. All of the rooms are. All the new rooms are pretty much the same. They might change a little bit.
I think I've got
some photos.
I've got I tell you what, can I play this video with you?
Oh yeah.
Your
Okay.
promo video. I'm just gonna show this because I know some of the rooms are on it. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
See if this works now. The power of.
I haven't seen the new room, so I'm interested.
There you are. Have a little look at this now.
Welcome to Llechwen Hall. Situated atop a secluded hillside with unparalleled views of the Merthyr and Cynon valleys,
Hell of a view that.
you'll have the very
Beautiful.
lush scenery as a backdrop to your wedding day. Steeped in centuries of history, Llechwen Hall is an authentic 3-star country house and the ideal setting for the most romantic wedding day. Our brand new hotel boasts 44 comfortable and stylish rooms, ranging from sleek, modern decor
Nice.
to classic 4-poster beds.
Beautiful.
Our rooms are the ideal place to perfect your look in the morning with breakfast and bubbles. At Llechwen Hall, you and your loved ones can enjoy our purpose-built, state-of-the-art marquee. Perfect for intimate weddings with close friends and family, as well as larger weddings where everyone is invited. With a dedicated private bar, air conditioning and heating, and a grand starlight dance floor, our marquee is the perfect venue for the biggest party of your life.
Oh,
Our dedicated staff are always looking to help couples find their perfect wedding, so let us help create yours. Email weddings@llechwenhall.co.uk today for more information.
I think that says it all, doesn't it? Look at that. You
And
did
had
sum
such
it
a
up
great
very,
day to
very
film
well.
that, didn't you?
Sorry.
You had such a great day to film that with the drone, like
Yeah,
the weather.
beautiful. I mean, you see him, and so me and Matthew, my videographer James, put that together for them.
Yeah,
And
wow. Good work.
I mean the view when you get that, you know, the drone up high. I mean it is incredible views looking over the mountains there. It's unbelievable. But you've seen some of the new rooms there. It's got that really nice sort of wood, sort of grey effect in the rooms.
Yeah.
Really stylishly done.
They're gorgeous. They're so nice, and like they've got they commissioned some really lovely. Well, I can't remember the name of the painter, but the really lovely Welsh paintings on the walls. And then we've got from Vellenbach, not Vellenbach.
The Welsh tartan.
The blankets and the Welsh company blankets and cushions. So yeah, just the grey and the pinks and greens and stuff's really nice.
Mm-hmm. And also, I just had this question here and just reminded me, are you still dog friendly?
We are, yeah. So we've got some select rooms that are dog friendly, and even in the new building as well, we've got some dog friendly rooms. So,
which is really important, I think. Sometimes
I think so, yeah. Well, it would be for me. I mean, I've got a 4-legged child, so yeah. It would be.
I mean, well, we all have.
There's been a few sales appointments where I've been like, we've just got on the topic of dogs, and then they go, "Are you dog friendly?" Yeah, that's it. We've picked. We're getting married here. It's a decider instantly for them. With if you are planning on having dogs involved in the day, they can be involved in the ceremony and have photos of you. But we typically recommend some local dog walkers or pet sitters to come up and look after them, just so it takes the pressure off you going back and forth through the room to make sure they're okay. So that's what we
just for people who don't know what you mean by dog friendly. So obviously we can. And I actually shot a wedding there a couple of years back, where the dog sat at the top table with the bride and groom, which was brilliant for photographs. So,
yeah, as long as they're well behaved.
It was really good. But when you mean dog friendly, it means they can stay in one of the rooms with them.
Yeah, so we've got dog friendly rooms. The bridal suite isn't actually dog friendly, but we do have another 4-poster room, which is kind of our secondary
which is
bridal
still
suite that they can stay in. But we do find that most of the time our couples are like, we're going to have the evening to ourselves, and a family member will have the dogs instead. So hi Claire.
We're getting a lot of love for Llechwen tonight.
Yeah.
It is, it is a venue that does deserve it, isn't it? In fairness.
Yeah.
I think you've done a very good job of explaining it before we saw the video. I think it is all that combination of things, isn't it? It is that like more traditional, but mixed with the modern and stuff.
Yeah. They've done it really, really well. And then, so there was a glimpse of the jailhouse in there as well. So that's not quite finished, but it's nearly there. nearly there. It's been a work in progress for quite some years. So that will be another area to have smaller ceremonies, and then eventually things like private dining and stuff.
So people are thinking, right, oh, this sounds wonderful, this venue. I've got a lot of guests come in. How many do you hold? So let's talk without COVID.
Let's talk
in mind.
aside from COVID, as if COVID's not a thing.
Yeah, let's not mention it now because we mention it so much. Let's just pretend we're back to how we were. So how many can you keep?
So our Nelson Suite is the long room with the original beams in and the glass bifold doors. So that room holds up to 90 guests.
Yeah.
And then our Oak-Cream Orangery is available Monday to Thursday. That holds about 70 guests. But then the jailhouse will eventually, we don't have an official number for it yet, but we're hoping around the 50 to 65 mark, but it will depend on the furniture that we go for. But if you have got really large numbers, then what we can do is a marquee ceremony. So because the marquee isn't licensed, what we would do is we would book out the Nelson Suite and the marquee for you, and you would have your ceremony in the marquee, and then you would it's a split ceremony essentially, and then you go into the Nelson Suite, sign your registry documents, and then you go back in and finish it off, come out, have your drink reception and your canapes and things, and we'll get it set up ready for the wedding breakfast then. So that's how we do larger weddings. We can also do ceremonies on the lawn, weather permitting. So obviously with that, there's no restriction on numbers, but you would need to have the space for them if, for wet weather contingency plan.
Yeah.
And to be honest, in Wales, I mean, we don't know what, you could have snow in the height of summer and a beautiful summer's day in January, do you know what I mean? So we don't really know, but I think that's really good. You can offer both in indoor and outdoor.
I mean, the lawn ceremonies are becoming really popular, mainly because another friend of ours, Matthew Wilson, his sister got married on a beautiful, I think it was June. They celebrated their anniversary a couple of days ago, I think. So they had absolutely stunning. I actually felt really emotional when I was seeing it was when we were getting ready for the ceremony to begin. We had a harpist, and it was just, I've never seen it look so beautiful because he did a lot of, he did all the setup. So he made sure it looked stunning.
Matthew Wilson now from Starlight, is it?
Yes, yeah. So he did a lot of, he made like a custom arch for her. And I believe their mother is a florist. So it was absolutely beautiful. I've got some really lovely videos and photos of that day. So since that day, we've done ceremonies before then on the lawn, but after the photos of that kind of went out on social media, people went a bit nuts for it. So
I bet it looked amazing.
And she looked amazing. So
oh, look out, we got a bit of love. Oh, look out.
St. Howard.
Lots of love
going on here.
Oh.
lovely wedding, Claire and Matthew. Was fair play, really, really nice.
Oh yeah, beautiful.
What a fab couple as well, mine, fair play.
I know. Do you know, I've started watching, there's a new Netflix series called Say I Do. And it's all about weddings, and I'm loving it because I'm missing ceremonies so much. And
this is why we started doing this. This was just, you know, we haven't spoken about weddings for ages, and we thought,
it's nice to get excited.
Between us, we've got lots of experience, and then if we can bring people on as well to, help us with that, we can still talk about weddings and still get our wedding fix, so.
Yeah, and I mean, it doesn't have to be all doom and gloom. There's a lot of couples out there that are really excited and maybe got engaged during lockdown, and really want to talk about different venues. And because of the lack of wedding fairs, it's nice to all the, we've done some virtual fairs, which has been amazing. Like I love that because it's so interesting hearing about all the different suppliers, and it's been nice for people to see all the offers and things, and like home. It's been great for me because if somebody's not able to go to a wedding fair, then they miss out. Whereas with this now, I can say, go and look on the videos, play them back, have a look at the offers that different vendors are doing. So it's really good.
Yeah.
So how would that work then? So everything's going virtual now. What about if somebody wanted to have a consultation with you at the venue there now to maybe they wanted to think, right, okay, I like the sound of this, let's ring up tomorrow and see if we can get a consultation going on. So obviously with what's going on, how would that work?
Well, I mean, really, it would be a case of probably showing the promo video that you've done, and also some photos, and just having maybe a meeting virtually and just discussing it really and explaining all the things that we would normally do in a sales appointment. And then if they're still really interested, then I mean we're taking bookings from the 20th of July for people to come up and have a look around anyway. So, but yeah, it's great. I think there will be an expectation now that people can get a lot more information virtually anyway, because if you are vetting
I think people are more used to it, aren't they?
Yeah, if you're vetting venues and you don't live locally and you want to shortlist your venues, then if you can do it from the comfort of your home, find out that information first and then come down and see it in the in it. I was going to say flesh, but it's not flesh. But then I think it's definitely the way forward. In terms of like actual appointments, a lot of our initial planning meetings will be done virtually now, just to save people coming back and forth too much, because a lot of the planning is done within 6 months of their wedding. So rather than coming back and forth 3 times in that 6 months, we can do a couple of the things virtually.
And do you say bride and groom wants to book the venue, is it just their wedding? Do you run more than one a day?
No, only one. So our focus is completely on them.
That's good.
It's not an exclusive use venue, so we've got the hotel rooms, and any hotel rooms that your guests don't take would be for general sale to the public, and also the restaurant. But the nice thing about the venue is the restaurant is self-contained, so it's got its own entrance. So they would be in the open restaurant. They wouldn't be affecting you and your guests. When you're having a drinks reception, then you're welcome to use the lawn area, the terraced area, and then the marquee terrace is privately yours. So, and I say this all the time in appointments, that I wouldn't go to a venue for afternoon tea or go to walk the dog if there's a wedding on and sit amongst a load of wedding guests with a drink and be like, hi, don't mind me. Obviously, people just don't do it.
Yeah, and obviously the when I got married there, I mean, I didn't notice anybody else there.
No, you don't.
I mean, there must have been people in the restaurant having food while we were in. But you're so far removed when you're in the marquee. You don't know what's going on inside because a very little time you spend there, I guess.
It's not like you got a petition up, is it? Like a thin petition.
No.
And there's 2 different things happening inside.
Do you know though?
Some
really
venues
nice.
do have that. So
yeah. It's yes, okay. Guests can see you and your guests, and you're walking. If you're having a ceremony in the Nassau, you would walk past. But actually, people love it. People love coming for afternoon tea on a Saturday. I'm pretty sure that people specifically book afternoon tea at 1 o'clock on a Saturday so that they can sit there and watch a bride go around with their bridal party.
I love seeing a bride going down, don't they?
Oh, and they see their face and they're like, oh wow, and actually it's quite nice for the bride to have that reaction from people they don't know, because they'll get it from their guests. Everybody wants that people to go, oh, wow, look at her, she looks the most beautiful she's ever looked. But to have it from people that have never seen you before you get that, it's almost like a kind of a boost before you go down the aisle. So yeah, it's nice.
That's cool.
And that's only if you're paying attention. I mean, if you're not paying attention and you're concentrating on walking in a straight line, you won't even notice that there are people sitting in the restaurant.
That's right. No, you wouldn't.
Even Nick. The reason I'm bringing Nick in is because he was at Llechwen at my wedding. Nick and so Nick Murray Photography was a really good photographer. Oh, in fact, he took our photograph there. Look at that.
Oh.
I put a different photo each week, look.
Oh.
So me, my father, my son, and my wife. Nick, I think you took that. Or that may have been Graham. Oh, I'm contentious now. Oh. Either one of you was a great photograph.
Do you really put a different photo there every week?
Yes, it started last week.
I didn't know
mention it. It was like my thing, but I've had to mention it because Nick's in and him or Graham took that photograph.
So Les, your attention to detail is phenomenal. I feel like I need a thing now.
You do need something.
Yeah, you need a magic trick.
Yeah, well, I'm contemplating it.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Go on, sorry.
No, just one more question. Do you have kind of set packages? I know every wedding's different, but do you kind of offer set packages, or just thinking for people inquiring?
We've got 3 wedding packages, and they start from £69, and then the most expensive is £115 per person. So alongside that, then we've got 2 offers as well. So we always have a last minute offer that rolls kind of for 6 months. the last minute offer that we've got is based on our top wedding package. So it's an amazing offer. And that has actually been extended to the end of April now for dates remaining then. And then we've got our dream offer, which is midweek. So midweek weddings are really popular for us. Thursday weddings are so popular because they're so close to the weekend. And the numbers for that, you've got included in £3,750, 50-day guest, 70 evening guests. You can include more, but we just find that that's a really good number for people to start with. And then they'll come to us 2 months before the wedding and go, actually, it's going to be more like 65 adults and 90 evenings. So we just amend it then for them.
Awesome.
But the wedding package is a really good value for money. We include things like Chivalry chairs in them. You get the bridal suite on the night of the wedding as well as an anniversary stay. The drinks packages, food is included. And then each time you go up a package, it gives you more flexibility with the menus. So like if you're going to go for package 3, it's kind of the champagne package and you've got like duck on the main course or fillet of beef. So yeah.
Do you still do the complimentary wedding breakfast tasters?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
I did. I loved it. Go on, sorry, go on.
Oh,
You'll explain it better than me.
Because before I was in the wedding department, I was sort of like restaurant manager-ish, and I used to love doing the menu tasting evenings because I was a coordinator before I was at Llechwen anyway. I think that just came up naturally at me anyway, just talking about their weddings and stuff. So I used to really enjoy doing the menu tasting evenings. Yeah.
So are those evenings kind of set and you send them out to couples or?
Yeah, it depends on, we flex it basically. We don't do them on days where there's weddings because obviously the banqueting chefs are in with the weddings. So we tend to do like three a month. They get invited in for that then. That's about 3 months before their wedding. And
I think it's really important because in my mind, especially Kate, and she wouldn't mind me saying this, Kate's really fussy. They're like, so she was thinking in her head, she was thinking, oh, I'll have this. But then when she saw mine, she was like, oh, perhaps I would like that.
Yeah.
And when she tasted it, like, oh, great, I'm going to try that now. So in your head, you're thinking, oh, when you're reading the menu, you're thinking, I'd like this, this, and this. But then when you're there tasting it all, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to change my mind now. I think it's really I think it's a brilliant gesture from the venue.
Yeah, food's such an essential part of the day as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the food is such a big thing, and it's such a nice date night as well. Like it's an exciting thing to be planning your wedding together. So to know that you'll get this complimentary evening, you can come in and have a meal in our restaurant, and if you want to stay overnight, then we can do like an offer for you to stay in one of the rooms as well, just to make an evening of it. So I'm sure you can imagine around any couples that are due to have their menu tasting in sort of February time. We'll try and marry it up so that it makes sense for them to be able to have a Valentine's Day and then their menu tasting, not on Valentine's Day, but around that time.
Yeah,
so it's really lovely. Yeah,
I think we actually stayed and had a few beers. It was like a really nice evening. I loved it.
Yeah, it's
really,
nice.
Really nice, like.
So we normally give a feedback form, so you can write down your comments and any questions that you have, and then that gets passed over from restaurant to us, and then we can call the couple then and say, right, you said that you would prefer to have this style of potato. Let's talk about that. Or you said that you want to have the beef cooked in a certain way. Let's have a discussion about that. So it means that the team on the evening don't have to know all the answers to the questions, but they're enough to help them and have an enjoyable experience. But then they know that we can follow up with any pressing questions they have.
And also on the day then will the bride and grooms get their own coordinator to help them through the day?
So when they come in for an appointment with us, if they book the venue, then they're booking that coordinator as well. So that coordinator is with them along the journey. So we're here for any questions that they have, whether it's about flowers or about measurements of tables, things like that. A lot of that is done over the phone and email. And then the actual official planning starts about 6 months before, where we would get them in for a meeting. They have their menu tasting 3 months before, and then a final details meeting 2 months before. But then on the day, it's our wedding manager and the operations team. So we have like really in-depth meetings beforehand and the run-up. When we're planning the wedding with them, we put all of the information into the plan. So if they're doing a lot of the decorations themselves, if they've got vendors doing different things, or they've got a magician, or they've got this happening, then that's all in the plan so that the team on the day know exactly what to expect.
And I got to be fair. I mean,
Yeah.
it's invaluable the experience of the coordinators, because I didn't know I had to pick songs.
Yeah.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
there's loads of little things like
Yeah.
I
that.
know.
loads
I
of little
didn't know
things,
that I
yeah.
had to like book a registrar. I know that's
Yeah.
stupid, right? I was like, well, who's going to marry us? Like, but I hadn't done that. And then the coordinator at the time we had was like, right, you need to do this, this, and this. And we were like, oh, we haven't thought of that. So, you know, to have that person there, you can ring, go, what do I do here?
Yeah.
I
And
never
from
got
start
married
to
before.
finish as well, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and also just recommendations. You know, we've
Priceless.
got a long list of recommended suppliers that we work with and that we love, and we know we'll know kind of the style, like venue dresses. If somebody's got a particular kind of centerpiece they've been looking for, then we might know somebody that would be able to do that for them.
Right.
So it's nice it's because you if you're looking at different venues, because our recommended suppliers are for our area. If you're looking at venues in Bridgend, they're going to have different suppliers. You know, some will cross over, but down in Old Wars, they're going to have different suppliers. So people relevant to that area, then it's great for you to be able to say to your coordinator, right, I'm looking to have this. Do you know anybody? So then we can put them in the right direction then.
And I think the comment that just popped up on the screen, Ian from First Class Weddings, who are also awesome, by the way. You know, I've always had that experience at Llechwen as well. Just made to feel welcome. Just everything's nice and professional, so it's really good.
I think so. We've got a question here. I don't know if you know anything about this, Toria.
We're not sure at the moment, because the original plan was to refurb the restaurant, and we don't know whether that's going to happen, when it'll happen. So to be confirmed on that one. If not, then it'll just stay as it is, really, and have ceremonies in there and just have a bit of a like a paint as you would do normally.
Yeah. Okay, that is amazing.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like I said, I think people know my love for the venue anyway. I'm always quite vocal about the place, but like honestly, I can't big it up any more than what I do. Really, I mean, it's well run. I mean, even down to the food is beautiful. Well done to the chefs and the team there. I mean, the coordinators are brilliant. The staff are brilliant. Even not just even the coordinators, like the cleaners and everybody, that are always friendly and nice. And you know, it's a well oiled machine, and it's really, really well done.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have changed my venue for the world if somebody give me any other venue for free. Honestly, it's really and I really mean that. So,
that's so nice to hear.
No, I know. I really mean it. I'm not just saying.
It's a lovely quote.
Because I wouldn't change it for the world, and Kate wouldn't either. Like, so, we had a wonderful, wonderful time. Like, you know. But yes, so thank you so much for that. I hope we didn't grill you too much. But we're gonna just literally quit, because what's the time here? God, we literally talked for like nearly an hour.
No, that went so fast.
So what we like to try and do at the end of these streams is just give some top tips to bride and groom, some help and advice, really. Paul just come back now and said thank you.
You're welcome, Paul.
So basically, we want to come up with like 10 tips on what to ask your wedding venue before you commit to them, because obviously when bride and grooms come in and book a consultation with you, obviously without COVID around, say right now, and then they come in, they see the wonderful views, they see the wonderful deco, they see the wonderful marquee, which is super impressive. I haven't seen a nicer one around for a while now. It's a cracking. I can't even call it a marquee. Is it officially a marquee?
Some people call it a tent, and I'm like,
It's honestly, it's a really nice.
I don't think
it's a pivot building. Yeah, it's glass down the one side, and then in the kind of foyer area, and then it's draped like a marquee. So it is a marquee, but it's a very sturdy floor.
Yeah, it's a very posh marquee.
Yeah,
it is a posh marquee.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously they come down to see that, and then they think, well, what do we ask? What do we say? So what we thought was we'd come up with some questions. So tips between the three of us, and if anybody's watching got any tips, that would be amazing as well. That we could give out to our bride and grooms on our Facebook page. Is that okay? Do you fancy sticking around to help us with that?
Yeah, of course.
So I hope you've done your research, James.
I've done it. I've done it this week.
I've got a couple. So I go first.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so I would say it's really important to ask your venue before you book what time you can set the wedding up and what time you can pack the wedding down. Because That's quite important because I think we were quite lucky because there wasn't obviously there wasn't a wedding before ours, so we had the day before as well to
Yeah.
we had a lot of time to set ours up. But if you got a wedding before, say, what time could the other wedding then the next day come in to set up?
Yeah. Are you asking? Well,
Yeah, sorry,
yeah. Sorry. Okay. So, I mean, yes, you're very lucky that you were able to set up the day before your wedding because it makes things a lot easier.
Yeah.
We always say that I would plan to set up on the day of the wedding, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we expect them to do it. So the reason we put so much detail into the plan of what they're bringing, if they're making their own centerpieces, if they're bringing their own post box, if vendors are bringing blossom trees, so that we know what belongs to who, and our team will do it on the day. If they're doing a DIY job and they're doing the centerpieces at home, then we usually ask them to set it up at home, take a picture, send it to us, and then our team will follow that. Or if they really want to come down on the morning of the wedding before guests come down for breakfast, they can come and set something up and we can copy it. Majority of the time, that's how we do it. But if you want it a little bit, because on the day, like, we'll do it for you, but there's usually groomsmen are hanging around, or we've got family members that have had breakfast and they've got a few hours until they need to put their suits on. So if they want to muck in and help, or if you want to give them some tasks, I would recommend giving them a clear instruction of what to do, and they can help us. But majority of the time, we just crack on with it, and then at the end of the night, then we pack it all up, put it all in one place so that you can bring your car around, load the car up, and take it with you. On a side note to that, my recommendation would normally be to get a venue dresser, and that is purely down to making your life so much easier and giving you the flexibility, because you might decide now that you want to go for a rose gold wedding and you get married in 2 years. I'm set on having rose gold. I've been dreaming of it. I've got about 7 Pinterest boards going of different themes of weddings. I've changed my mind over a few years. If you fill your house full of things that you've been buying from eBay and off of these websites, you can't change your mind. You're stuck with it. You have to roll with it, and then you have to store it until the wedding. You have to transport it to the venue. You have to pack it up, bring it home, along with your wedding cake, along with your gifts. Whereas at a venue dresser, and it doesn't have to be things suspended from the ceiling. It could be a case of them just coming in and doing your centerpieces, your sashes, and some flowers for you. But you're booking the date with them, and then closer to the wedding you pick the style, so you can change your mind. They might release a really nice new contemporary centerpiece that has just come out, and then you could have that and it'd be different to other people. So it gives that the flexibility, and they set it all up, come the next day, take it away, you don't have to worry about it. So for that little bit more, you're supporting an independent business as well, and not having to worry about taking a couple of days off work to sort out all the boxes.
So that's something going on our list, James.
Yeah, that's definitely going on.
You go one?
Well, I've got lots, Les. Another tip would be to ask, when is the last date before the wedding that you could change the amount of guests? So I don't know how you feel, whether that's a good question or not.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to know. I mean, some people are going to be more strict than others. Our normal policy is 2 months before we need to have final details of numbers. But as you can imagine, in the run-up to the wedding, things do change. So I'd normally say that we do our meetings, we start the meetings from 2 weeks before the wedding. So as long as we have the most up-to-date information by that 2 weeks, flexible. But if you've got somebody that is adding on last minute, you've got a friend that can suddenly get time off work and can come, you know, and you let us know the day before, we'll just check with the chefs and just make sure that we can do that. We're pretty flexible.
Lovely. Tori, do you have one? Well, what would in an expert field, what would you think that people should ask you?
Accommodation is a big thing, so I think it's just sussing out the accessibility of the venue. So finding out whether or not, like, how many rooms you're entitled to have, whether you get discounted rates for your guests, which we do. So we hold 20 rooms at discounted rates because that's the average amount of rooms that people tend to take. They don't have to have those, they're not contracted to them. They have up until a month before, and then if any rooms haven't been confirmed, we just release them for general sale. So I think, bedrooms, and if they can stay the night before. So a lot of our brides and grooms, they stay the night before. They have their bridal party, they have a big sleepover, and then they have hair and makeup and breakfast to the room. So it's just. I
think that's all part of the experience in the venue. is
Yeah.
getting, because I wanted to feel, well, I did feel, but I wanted to feel like it was my house, it was my home. I wanted to feel comfortable there.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, Kate and her friends and bridesmaids and stuff stayed down the night before, so they had food, and I think that's really important to try and stay the night before.
Yeah, it's so nice. I mean, how often do a group of girls that probably haven't spent the night together since maybe they were in university or in school have a big sleepover? That doesn't get to happen as an adult. So it's so exciting to say, I mean, you know, okay, maybe a hen party, but it's so exciting to say, right, have a big sleepover. We've got interconnecting bedrooms now in the new building, so we normally say book 2 of those, open the doors up, have a big supper party, and then have hair in one, makeup in the other. Because the other thing to think about as well is how comfortable it is the next day. Because if you've got 4 or 5 bridesmaids and you've got hair and makeup and bags and stuff and shoes everywhere and breakfast trays, you want there to be enough space so you don't feel like everybody's on top of you. So yeah, I definitely think accommodation, finding out how close it is to maybe train stations, main routes and things like that.
That's another one.
I totally agree. Right, that's another one we'll add. Right, me now, is it? Okay, so I would say I got loads. I'm just trying to think of which one to have now.
He says that every week. It's the same list. He's written it in marker. Hold it up, Liz.
No, I haven't.
Laminated.
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's a printout. Wow, it's time corrected.
Okay, I would say, do you allow outside caterers, or do you have your own caterers deal with that?
We have our own caterers, so we have our own banqueting team, that are our in-house caterers as well. So we do allow external catering for things like, obviously, a wedding cake. If you wanted to do your own sweet table, if you wanted to do a donut wall or a chocolate fountain or something like that, or a crisp wall, they're quite cool. Then you're welcome to book those in. But the actual main, like your wedding breakfast and your evening buffet is done through us.
And I think I've spoken a lot about food, so we know it's lovely food.
I mean, the thing is, we are quite flexible as well.
Yeah, it's a good question to ask your venue, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it
obviously
is.
We've covered that for Llechwen, but I mean, some
venues haven't got the caterers, have they? They've got to bring them in.
No, some of them you do. You just pay in for the venue, and then you have to sort out the food completely separately. So then suddenly you're paying £4,000 more without realising it. So our packages include the food, and with the evening buffet, like say there's an option that you're not keen on, or you want something a little bit different, we just, it doesn't hurt to ask. Like we can flex it, and we've done pizzas and stuff for the evening instead. If somebody wants just something really relaxed, we can do curries. There's different things that we can do.
Lovely.
Nice. That's another one. We'll add that. Good question, Jim. That was. Go on, James. You
didn't have Llechwen Hall burgers for your wedding.
It's a good question, James. And I think the next one I'd ask really is corkage. Do you allow corkage at all, just venues in general? And if so, what is, what is the cost? Because we had a wedding entertainment episode 2 episodes ago, and there were some wonderful ideas about gin bars and all this different type of things. And obviously some venues will allow it, some venues won't allow it. And I think it's a question worth asking.
Yeah, we do allow corkage. We only really do it for kind of bottled wine.
Okay.
It's about £18 for a bottle of wine, whereas you can get the wine through us for the same price. So it's more cost effective to do it through us. If you wanted to go for something quick like a gin bar and stuff, that's something that you could discuss with us, but it would just depend. And when we do our drinks receptions though, and our drinks tables, and we make them look really lovely. Lots of wooden crates and artificial grass and plants and things just to make it nice and rustic. And we've put a bit of touch of Llechwen on things. And some people decide to have like a pimp prosecco station or a beer ladder in the evening. We can do all of that for you.
Oh, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
All this stuff is making me want to get married again. That's what the webcast is doing to me. So it is.
Okay. Great question, James.
Oh, my turn, isn't it now?
Yeah.
Okay. For us, a big question that people ask is, can you have candles? So some venues allow you to have candles in the marquee. We don't allow open flames in the marquee, so it would need to be LED candles. However, in the Nelson Suite, if you wanted to have candles in there, you could, because obviously it's more to do with the draping. It's a fire hazard. So also outside, if you wanted to have tea lights out on the marquee decking or on the wall, as long as they're enclosed and they're safe, then you can do that instead. So yeah, LED candles for the marquee. I think it's a big thing if you've got it in your head that you're going to have these big candelabras with flames, which look beautiful in photos, but actually are a bit of a stressful thing to have, especially if you've got children and people that have been drinking and are leaning over to get bottles of wine and stuff. It's just, precarious.
Or magicians.
Oh, magicians.
I like this you got on the website. It's like an example. This is really good. Like showing timings, example timings and stuff. That's really really informative.
I mean, like anybody can ask us for that. So if they've booked their wedding 2 years in advance and they've said, we get married at 1 o'clock, can you send us over timings so we know what time to put on our evening invitations? We'll send them a rough guide of the day. Going back to your question earlier about timings for the day and stuff, like how we kind of manage things if things are running late. Those timings are there to give you our couples a guide. Obviously, it's their day. So if you've got great weather and your photographer wants a little bit more time with you to get some more shots in, like we just communicate with you or communicate with the kitchen and just keep it flowing. If speeches are running over, then we might come over and say, right, you've only got about 20 minutes until your evening guests arrive. Do you still want to do the room turnaround, or should we just keep it nice and relaxed? And we'll add in some extra tables subtly, and we'll clear around you, play some music, and most of the time people go for that. I normally ask that question in like coordination meetings as well, just to gauge how structured a couple want their day to be, or if they're quite happy to manipulate it to work with what's going on.
And there's lots of information on the Llechwen website, and as you can see here, it's llechwen.co.uk. So please go and check that out because there's lots of cool information on there. And we've also got somebody agreeing with you. Ian is agreeing with you with the old candles.
Yeah, it's not worth it. They look lovely, but I think it's going to be the right kind of venue for it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Wonderful. We can add that. Thank you for that. Should we do one more round?
Yeah, let's do one more.
If we're quick, right? Okay, so I would like to know how much can we decorate the marquee? So could we literally have free reign and decorate? So if I had this crazy idea, obviously within legal terms, like I wanted like fire breathers, or I wanted some whatever, right? I really wanted to go far out on this wedding. Obviously, as long as it was safe and passed, then could I just literally do what I want with that marquee?
Yeah, I mean, I would say if you're a novice, I probably wouldn't. I would definitely go for hiring a professional to do things like that.
Yeah, no, I don't mean doing it myself because I wouldn't have hiring people in, and I could make that.
I mean,
if I wanted a circus wedding, then right, I wanted to make that marquee look like a big top, or I could just literally have free reign and do what I want.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the main thing to keep in mind is the timings, really, because we would say setup is done on the day. But obviously, if you're bringing a big company in to come in and make it amazing, then they would have to come in very early and do it, wouldn't they? But I mean, we're happy for you to do what you want to do.
I didn't think of my timings. That's why you were pro and I'm not.
Yeah, no, that's right.
Yes, I mean, we have these dreams, but realistically, when it comes down to timings, you probably only have a few hours in the morning to get things done. So unless you would guarantee that there was anything happening the day before, which we wouldn't be able to do. Yeah. But I mean, we did have a carnival wedding fair, so it's definitely something that suits the venue.
Very true, it does.
Okay, so my next question is, does the venue hold provisional dates? And if so, for how long? So obviously interested to know Llechwen's, but also just is it a good idea to ask your venue?
So normally a couple will come in and have a look around, and then we discuss dates. If they find a date that works, then they can hold it for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's good.
So and we're flexible. If it depending on somebody's circumstance, if they might say we get paid at the end of the month, can we hold it? That's fine. So it's 2 weeks to give you an idea, have a chat to people, make sure that date works, have a chat to the registrars, make sure that they've got availability on that date, and just give you a little bit of cooling off time because you're likely to visit other venues. And just to give you that kind of peace of mind that that date isn't going anywhere for 2 weeks. At the moment, I am getting a lot of inquiries of people maybe that have previously visited the venue for a show around and now saying, right, where we need to get our dates sorted because of so many people that will be looking to book weddings. Say 2021 availability across the world is going to be a lot lower than it would have been 4 months ago. So yeah, for people that I've already spoken to, have already seen, then yes, I'm provisionally holding dates. And it depends. If it's a 2022 wedding, 2023, I'm happy to hold a date. If it's a wedding that's due to, if it's my last Sunday in June next year, and I've got couples that are my priority to give them a date that works for them, then it's unlikely that I would hold a date for them.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough.
Very good. And the final one, over to you, Victoria.
I've got my list.
No pressure, like.
I think just setting up the exclusivity. I know we've already spoken about it.
Yeah.
But go into a venue because every venue's different. So you might come to the venue and think, because if you come on a quiet day, you might think that it's exclusive use. So just clarifying what your package includes so that you know what to expect, so that 6 months down the line when you're having discussion, then you go, hang on a minute, it's not exclusive use. It does say in our brochure that it isn't, but it's always good to have that conversation and just suss out what will our wedding feel like, so that we can put their mind at ease that it won't make a difference. But obviously we're a mid-range venue, so you're not paying for the exclusivity, but you're essentially kind of getting it really. Because of the points that I discussed earlier.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Awesome. Some really good tips here for couples.
Yeah, there is, and I think that's why we add you on, is because obviously we know you know your stuff, and passing on this information is priceless, really. Do you know what I mean? Because it's stuff that people wouldn't know, I guess. And you're in it from a venue. It's better than going on Google and searching it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like all through this, it's quite nice when people send me just general coordination inquiry, like questions about their day, and that it's quite nice to send them pictures maybe that aren't professional pictures, the ones that I've taken of different angles of the venue, so that they have a better idea of what things look like. I try to take a lot of photos while I'm on site of things set up in different ways, so that if somebody says, can I see a picture of what the marquee lounge looks like from this angle, can you I can send it over to them. So I think just talking about things that you probably wouldn't normally talk about if you went to look around a venue.
Just one last question. We've got time to answer one more.
I've got all the time in the world.
There we go.
Can I ask for the COVID situation? So we'll just extend those for you. Just if you want to get in touch with me, the hotel's opening on the 20th of July. So if you wanted to come along and have an anniversary stay anytime from the 20th of July, then we've got more availability. We've got availability through August now, because the majority of our weddings have moved. So just send me an email. I think you've got my email already. So send me an email and I'll have a look at the availability.
Yeah. Okay. I think that is about it. That was absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much to come on and doing this for us. It's been a pleasure, honestly. And I honestly, for people who are watching this, please don't think I'm just saying it because Victoria and the venue are on. I got married there, and it was perfect. I wouldn't change it for the world. It was absolutely amazing. And it's only got better since then. Do you know what I mean? So it was good then. It's going to be a lot better now because they've got more rooms. The place is done out incredible these days. So credit to the owners and your staff for making this a wonderful venue.
So definitely check Llechwen out before you make a decision about where you're going to get married.
I would say so. Llechwen Hall is definitely, and obviously we said something really bad there because she's left us.
These things happen.
Loving that tour. No, she's having a problem. I could hear some interference or something going on there, so she's dropped out.
It's live. This is what happens live.
That's right. But I think that was really informative, James. That was
Oh, do you know, I say this every time, but I've learned some new things again today. So, yeah, I'm really impressed with how she spoke about the venue, and then, just how much she seems to care about it, and
Yeah.
that always helps massively.
and it shows, and it shows when with the work and when you're actually
Thank
getting
you, yeah.
married on the day, because it's not
Yeah.
just a job; it's a passion for them. Do you know what I mean? And I think that goes a long way, really. So, yeah. But
Absolutely.
thanks everybody for tuning in. We had lots of viewers and questions today, which was absolutely
Yeah, it's
amazing. Which shows the power of the venue, I think, because a lot of people wanted to listen to what she had to say, really, Toria had to say. So, yeah, we will type up the questions and tips, top tips, and we'll get them on our Facebook pages for the next 3 episodes, as we did.
Yeah. So keep a lookout for the wedding entertainment ideas and stuff as well, isn't it? Because they'll be coming on too. But
yeah. So we will be back next Tuesday at 7.
We will be back next Tuesday, same time.
And we have, who do we have? I haven't checked the list.
I think we have the wonderful. Should we say? Yeah, we can say, can't we?
Why not? Go on, say it. And if you're wrong, then it's your fault.
I think we have the wonderful Lynn from Lovey Dovey, but she's going to talk about her business, which is the Dove release and all the symbolism involved with that, which is wonderful. But she's also going to talk about the Wedding Guild of Wales.
And Tori's just come on with a question saying, sorry, your phone died.
No, that's okay, Toria.
Tori,
it happens.
You've done an amazing job. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, absolutely.
And it didn't matter. You jumped out. I was going to kick you out anyway because I had enough of you. See you soon. Well done. Thanks for coming on. Right. So we have Lynn next week discussing business, which is a really popular business, and also discussing the Wedding Guild of Wales, which is a really good organization. We won't explain too much now. We'll let Lynn do that for next week. So I think that is us done, is it? Nothing else to mention?
Yeah, all done.
Back next week, and we will see you all again. Thank you so much for tuning in. We had lots of people this week and lots of questions. Also, you can watch this back on our Facebook page and YouTube.
Absolutely.
We will see you very soon. Au revoir, James.
Take care.
Thanks, guys. Cheers. Really appreciate it.